Let's pull up Nick. Nick, I hope you got that stable connection, man, because we about to add you up in here next. Nick, what's going on, man?
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, man, we're good. We're good. We're good. Yeah. All right. The boys in the house. Wait, we're just waiting on Chronicles of Power, aka Kimi. But we can just start to do a
Man,
little bit of introductions. Listen, everyone here, like I said before, in their own right, is doing some amazing and some incredible things in the Power fan base, man. Power is fire. I mean, who doesn't know Sam at this stage and his content? Mr. Power Universe, I mean, dude's dominating, TikTok and everything, man. And so it's just good to have everybody here and just kind of go through it. Initial thoughts. Initial thoughts. Straight off the rip. Season finale. Just raw, visceral. How y'all feeling about it? Anyone? Nobody likes to to be the first person. We'll move right on to the second person.
Uh,
movie.
Basically, I would say I thought it did what it was supposed to do. I didn't expect for it to be like no like it wasn't gonna be 210. Raising Kanan 210 to me was the best episode ever. Like of like
Really?
one of the best in the Power Rangers in general, but that was the best episode of Raising Kanan ever. So I wasn't a lot of people were expecting that type of feel, which I don't think we get that until 510, but um I think it did what it was supposed to do, is set up the next season.
So then the question is, was this more of a placeholder? I don't want to say placeholder season, man, because but then the cliffhanger though, you know what I mean? Like that part of it for me, I like it, but it's like, can we really trust stars and their deadlines at this stage? They told us that this was supposed to come back from winter. We end up getting this thing,
The
just
last week before winter ended.
you know what I'm saying? So
I was
like,
like, come on, bro.
so they're talking about
I
2026, and it's like, bro, when the hell that gonna be? Nick, what are you thinking? How was your visceral raw reaction to the finale?
man, at first I was kind of salty because I was expecting more, but after it kind of sunk in, I was like, well, they got the early review, so like Sasha said, he has a story that he wants to tell. So I think, like you said, this was kind of like a placeholder season, and next season they're going to always see the bodies drop.
I was checking out some of the other content, regarding with Sasha and whatnot. Like I even saw Kimi did too, and so when she interviewed him, that gave a lot of insight into a lot of things. And so one thing about him though, like he's good when it comes down to interviews because you can't never fully get a read on him. Like even like sometimes in psychology, right? Some people say if you're asking somebody a question and they're looking up while they're responding to you, they're trying to find, an appropriate answer. But if they're looking down when they're talking to you, they're talking truth. So he'll like do this, right? And I'm like, man, I can't read this brother, man. Like, you know. But for me, visceral raw reaction just to the finale, I think it was solid. What I say it was the best finale, like Sam, you said 210. What I say it's the best
210.
finale, I don't know, man. Y'all could disagree with me. I think that was probably one of the more stronger finales of the show.
Really?
The cliffhanger, that was it for me. The
Yeah.
cliffhanger is what did it. Yeah.
I mean, season one really didn't have no cliffhangers. It kind of just ended. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we knew that Kanan was, shooting his pops or whatever. So it was a cool cliffhanger. But I feel like the season ended pretty like flatline. It was like, all right, like it did what it was supposed to do. Then 210, it was just like boom, action, 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 action. All of the Italians was shooting. Then Marvin got shot. We didn't know if Marvin was gonna live or not. It was like, whoa, okay, like they doing anything. And then Luke like shot like 3, 4 people. I was like, okay. So it just had me on the edge. And then at the end, we saw Unique obviously save Rock, and they came outside, and then Kanan and Howard come out, and they all meet in the middle, and the episode end. I said, nah, that was a beautiful finale.
You know what? Now that you refresh my memory on that part of it, that is true. That
Now, 210 finale was crazy.
that was
Crazy.
solid. It was solid. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So now you might have to cause me change my ranking a little bit. Well, I don't know. What do you think,
I'm
Nick?
not gonna lie, bro. I think even the 310 finale was better than this one.
For
I'm not
sure.
gonna lie. Yeah.
So what would you guys rate it if you would have given a scale of 1 to 10? You can't use 7. In fact, I'm gonna ask everybody this, right? Even in the
That's what I'm
chat,
gonna say.
right? On a scale of 1 to 10, you guys can't use 7. What would you rate the season finale of Raising Kanan?
I'm giving it an 8.
Give it an 8. Nick?
Solid 8.
I give it a 6.5
Man, you tough to deal with,
because
man.
because of the cliffhanger, bro. Like I just felt like they could have given us more than just going black screen. You know what I mean? I feel like it kind of gives away. Like there's no way she got shot if they went black screen, right?
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way. So I feel like they could have given us a little bit more than that. But I understand what they're doing. Season 5 is gonna be when they really good. So I'm okay with that.
I think
Everybody's
it's
coming in
kind of
here with
similar.
8s.
It's kind of similar to episode 5, 10 of the OG Power. How we didn't know Angela was gonna die. Like, she got shot, so we knew she got
Mm,
shot. Then season 6
okay.
came, and then it was like, okay, it was a build up, but then obviously Angela dies in the first episode of season 6. So
Yep.
you know what I mean? I think it could kind of be playing along to that. So we can basically argue about whether Angela is dead or not, the whole way up until the season come out. Just like we arguing, well, not people not really arguing now. I'm just posting that she's dead because it's just more fun to get more comments and we get
Yeah.
more engagement.
Trolling.
So tell you what, let's hop right into it. First question of the night, and this is for everybody. If we're being real, did Rock deserve to go out like that, or did she deserve what was coming to her? Let's put it like that. I won't say she went out. Did she truly deserve what was coming to her? And do you actually believe she's dead? Anybody take it?
Well, did she deserve what's coming to her? Yes and no. I think she definitely deserves it, but not from her son. I think somebody else has to be the one to pull that trigger. And no, she's not dead. I've said it a million times. If Tina dies, the show's over. Period. She's the star of the show. She's the one raising Kanan. If she's gone, it's over. Just move on to priority.
I,
What do you
I
think,
have
Sam?
to disagree on that one. Now, okay, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I think Bettina Miller is the strongest actress in the Power universe, just about from the spinoff era.
Yep.
So I'll give you that. But
Whoa,
I
whoa, you
can't
say
say
spinoff Eric not the general?
no, no. I can't say in general. She's not a better act. I don't think she did better than Omari, personally.
No, I'm saying you're saying actress like women.
Oh, actress like women, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not even
Yeah,
close.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, no. As far as actresses, yes, it's not even. But like actor in general, she's number 2. Right under Ghost. Only because Ghost had to kind of play both sides. It was like a whole another thing. But yeah. Um, but bro, I'm sorry, I gotta disagree with you there, bro.
Why?
Um,
I'm gonna
but I
play
will agree
referee.
with
I'm gonna fall
I will
back. You
agree.
guys do it.
Let me agree with him on the standpoint that I didn't like that it was Kanan had to do it. In my personal opinion, I wish Unique would have been one
Mm,
because it's
why?
like, bro, season 1 and 2, he really like they was back and forth at it or whatever, and then it was like a manipulation thing where I don't know if that's his angle now is like, yo, you use me to then take over, like you faked a love affair to kind of like get in my mind even more, but that wasn't really played out, so he really don't have a reason to kill Rock, to be honest, but it would have been nice to see that because
Hmm.
damn sure wasn't gonna be one of her brothers.
So
Yeah,
everybody
so
was kind of convinced this whole season long that Marvin was probably on his way out. I kind of thought that was a little low probability, just because it was too obvious. Now, if we were dealing with the writers from Book 2 Ghost, he would have been gone, right?
No, no, I disagree because I don't think that Marvin. I don't think that. I think everyone expected Marvin. No, no, I'm sorry. Everyone expected Lou. Because if you go back to everybody's like, if you had to give like, um, these three characters are going to die this season. It seemed like every season Lou was on the chopping block, just like Drew was on the chopping block of the origin of Ghost. Everybody had Drew dying every single season.
This is
You know what
true.
I'm saying? And like if you would say Kane is gonna die, everybody was like, oh hell no, nah, they better not kill Kane. It's the same thing with Uncle Marvin. So it's like he's the fan favorite. So they're gonna drag him till like Marvin will probably be alive till like the last 10 minutes of the show.
Mm.
Like
That's a
he's
good
gonna
point.
have probably the saddest go out of anybody. I don't know how he goes out, but it has to be tragic.
That's a
Y'all
good
remember the
point.
way Kanan went out with the shootout with the cops? That's how I envision Marvin going out. There's no way he's going to jail. He's not going for that.
Right. Or if he's burned alive, I think that would be like, well, no, we already seen that with Dre. I'm trying to
Damn,
think
burned
of I'm
alive.
just trying to think of some I'm just trying to think of something original, but like Dre, he was burned alive, so he can't do that. Kanan was shot by the cops, can't do that.
Mm.
Can't get killed by he's not gonna get killed by jukebox. I hope not. Like that's been done over and over again. So it's like
How is
what
Kimi?
new?
Kimi is in the chat. Kimi, you're on the wrong side of the stream. I'm trying to figure out how is she in the chat.
He
I
probably
mean,
didn't click the right link.
yeah, she didn't click the right link. But no man, continue,
Technical
Sam.
difficulties.
Well, yeah, I don't know, man.
My personal thought on that is, I was putting it out there. I thought it would be Lou. Um, just it looked like his story was coming full circle. If you really, really
Yeah.
pay attention to it, it's like the recovery and then, making goodbyes with Jess and whatnot. Who I'm pretty sure, he planted a little seed with her. That's all I'm saying. That's how I feel, right? A little seed was planted there
Oh
with
my
Jess.
god.
But
Oh
you
my
got you
god.
got to look at it, man. That's all I'm saying. But
I was
when
hoping
they,
Jessica got pregnant.
this is what I'm saying. So if,
For what though?
I mean,
Just for the future of power.
yeah, that
So you're
adds.
saying that Lou's gonna be sticking around?
No, even if you don't stick around, I just want to see more original power people that ended up coming in the original. Like I want to see some of them like as kids because it's like, oh, like that was this person the whole time. Like what if obviously that's not the case, but let's just say hypothetically, like what if Amber ended up becoming Jenny? You know what I'm saying? Like that would be like, oh, okay.
That's a
Because
good
remember,
point.
it's the reason for all of these storylines.
That's a good point. What is the purpose of the storyline with Amber? You guys think? Like, what is that underlying sort of real reason? You know what I mean?
Right.
I have no idea.
That would
What?
make sense if she turned out to be someone in the in one of the spinoffs where we kind of just overlooked it. It's just like they keep putting this person in, but I don't know why, and it ends up being somebody like that.
And then maybe because she goes through the foster system, if
She
we're
changes her name and
she
all that.
changes her name. You know what I'm saying? She comes out. That's
Mhm.
boy. That sounds something. That's saying something.
He's trying to get in the writers room.
Yeah.
No. That's just how I would play it. It would make more sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's seen all those things, but now, she lives her life trying to put people in jail. But
Lamont
she
Bryan
I
appreciates
asks,
got a
whoever
question
gets
for
her.
y'all though. I got a question for y'all though. Do y'all think Amber's gonna snitch on Marvin and tell the feds or whoever that she's the one? Because she's a kid, bro. She don't really understand what's going on. So to be able to rely on her to keep
She's
that
better off
quiet,
keeping
I
her
don't
mouth
know.
shut. She's better off keeping her mouth shut because in the situation she's in now is way better. She walked into a rich family.
Mm.
that is true.
It's either
Yeah,
if
yeah.
Marvin don't save her, she's in that crack house, basically being, you know what I mean? She's being like
Yeah,
captive.
The
facts.
the person on screen, Lamont Bryan asks a good question, and I'm sure all of us has thought this at some point. What if Marv and Lou are still living in present day power? Probability of that, What are you guys' thoughts?
Very high for one of them.
Which one? That's the thing.
Lou, Lou.
It would make more sense if Lou was the one that was still alive because I can't see Marvin. That would be some cartoon character shit. I'm not gonna lie. If
At least with
Marvin was
Lou,
alive after all that, he just became the second
no way.
most. He has the second most kills in Power now. There's no way.
Wow. He did catch a lot of bodies this season.
Yeah, that's true. He was getting sloppy with it too.
26.
26.
You
You
was sloppy
count,
the whole
wait on a
season?
second. Sam, you counted how much bodies he got.
Yeah, he had 24. Then he killed early, and then he killed the dude that was with early.
I need
It's
an air
26.
horn sound effect or something like that because Sam's in here, mathematician on the
Did the
bodies,
research.
man. You know, that's crazy.
Yeah, I have to make my post anyway to update the kill total because it's been so many. Lou got new ones, and you know what I mean. Rock don't have no new ones. I was a little disappointed. Rock didn't get not one kill this season.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting on one from her, but
That's a good point. Now that you mention it, she
I
did
hated that. Nope.
I mean, unless you count the baby.
Technically, she killed the baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Rock does have a body this year.
That is true.
Unless y'all count that. And that's another thing. Why did it show us that if it plays no role in the season? What was the point of showing us Rock getting an abortion?
I don't know, but it would have. If I was in the writers' room when Unique yapping and yapping and yapping in his spot, I would have said,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's funny because you really got me pregnant." And like if she would have said that,
Oh, that would
I'd
have
have
been
been like,
perfect.
"Oh,
That would have
shit."
been.
That would have been crazy.
Lou would have
Yeah.
died on the spot. You'd have been like, "Nah, I gotta go."
We would have been sick.
But you asked a good
And
question.
then Lou would have thought about it for the longest, and then he probably would have apologized. He probably would have been on a different type of level at that point.
That's a good question though. Like, what was the? And let me put this to the chat. What was the point of Rock being pregnant, and then that you guys feel, and then kind of, deleting the baby? Initial thoughts are, was that more or less to set up the relationship closeness between her and Jukebox to kind of show that, and then kind of contrast that in the end, maybe because she was the one bringing her home from the clinic, and so but to set it up to just be that, and I always found it weird that in that little episode 1 anyway, she got pregnant. But could that be the main reason why they do that? That's the question that I'm really curious on. What do you guys think?
I feel like this is one of those situations where they just kind of show us stuff just for like emotional effect. Maybe they want us to feel bad for her. You know what I mean? And just pile up. Because if you think about it, like she took L's all season. She didn't really get no big wins like that. And even when she did, they were short lived. So I think that was just kind of adding, fuel to the fire.
Yeah, a lot of people were surprised that she didn't bring it up with Unique as well. All right, watch this. So, question would be, would you, and now obviously we all have our own parents. You were Kanan. Would you have pulled the trigger if that was your mom, knowing you knew what you knew? That's the question. Question for everybody. Would you have pulled the trigger on your mom, knowing you knew what you knew? Context being the truth outside of it, you don't know, right? You just know what you know. Would you have done it?
Kanan didn't have enough
Absolutely
evidence.
not.
He didn't have enough evidence.
Yeah. They
But
had no evidence.
this also proved that Kanan was actually bothered by her killing Howard. Because a lot of people was telling me that, like, oh, he don't care about Howard, and I'm like, no, that shit hit him for sure.
Yeah.
And he brings it up, obviously, but that was the last name he brought up before he, possibly pulled the trigger or not, whatever he did, whatever. Everybody keeps saying, oh, he saw somebody in the mirror. He saw somebody in the glass. Like, bro, I've seen that shit, bro.
Then somebody was like, "Oh, Eunice Crew was in the mirror," and he shot. Come on now, bro. Come on now. Like what?
It could be the case, but it's just like, bro, but y'all pulled that out your ass. It was y'all didn't see somebody. It was like, oh, he's seen somebody.
So
I see what they mean though, because he kind of aimed, then he hesitated, then he reached back, then he aimed again. So I can kind of see where they're going with that, but come on now. And then some people were like, "Oh, Tupac came in and shot Kanan to save Rock." Really?
So that means
Yeah,
y'all
I
really
don't
think
know.
she dead. That like y'all think
No, I don't think
I
she's
don't
dead, but I don't think she got shot.
so
I
then
think
what
somebody
happened?
else got shot.
Who? It's it's one of Unique's guys. It's
I
Akbar.
don't know.
It's Akbar. He
I don't
came in.
know.
Yeah.
Because remember, Tupac was trying to make a phone call before that scene, right? So who was she calling? Maybe she was warning Marvin to go say, like, you don't know. So I just feel like there's no way that Rock got shot if they ended it like that. And then
Hmm.
obviously, I know you guys see the deadline article where they say Patina Miller exits. Come on now. You think we stupid?
They just did
Why
the
would you
same thing
spoil
with
that?
Unique. They just did the
Yeah,
same thing with Unique.
Now
same thing.
that was the thing I was looking for too. So even when I was putting together my breakdown video, I was trying to figure. I was researching hard. I was like, did they do an article when Unique got killed off? I couldn't find it. They did.
They did an article.
So these
They
niggas
dropped
ain't
a
even
whole
creative.
article. Then TMZ pulled up on him and did like a whole thing, and he was talking about how he's
Mm.
sorry for the fans and all that. Bro, he did like a whole press run.
Yeah,
That part of it I
he was
remember.
talking about how he had to go on a tour for his music and stuff. He pretty much used his music to like disguise what was going on.
Yeah, and then
Right.
the question was who was really
But
buying, buying sold out shows to Joey's, Joey's stores in the first place. So that's what kind of put the credibility of it all into question in the first place. But man, would they do that
Well, he was on a
twice?
run. He was on a run that particular year because remember he performed at the BET Awards in that all white outfit. So he was doing his thing at the time. So it wasn't super unbelievable.
Hmm.
he's always been a good artist, so I believe it. I believe it. But
Like I say, the question comes: would they do that twice? Twice,
Yes.
so close to each other. But I feel like that lacks so much creativity. You know what I mean? Like it lacks vision. It just lacks ingenuity. Like to do that right after. So like you remove the effect, the shock effect from us as fans when we're watching the show. If it's really like episode 501, Kanan is doing some sort of voiceover. I told you before, don't believe what you see, you don't see. You know, and then we
I
see.
actually want to make a point about that. Kanan was super lazy on the narration this season. Super lazy.
Mm,
you think so?
Yeah, I hated his narration. Like, oh, when Breeze popped up, it was like, oh, y'all know who this is, bro. You was better not
yeah.
stop nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like Breeze should have had an introduction just like Marvin did, even if it's after the fact. Like, once he said Breeze, then he could have did like a little monologue after about him and you know what I'm saying, like whatever.
Think about how they
Marvin got
teed up
one, you got
Ronnie
one.
in episode, what was it, 301. How they teed him up. That same
Exactly.
voiceover, that same thing. It's like, oh, but it was just like you said, y'all know what this is. Do we really y'all want this nigga all this time, right? Here he is. It's like,
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, that introduction was underwhelming to say the least.
So then I think that kind of leads us almost into one of our next questions. What was your first impressions on Breeze? Goofy or gangster?
He felt like a tier 2 level rapper. I was like, are
yeah,
you
I
even a
agree.
gangster? Like, are you really in the streets? 'Cause it don't look like it. But I think Shameik Moore was a good casting. I feel like we kind of had an inkling that it was him because of the filming stuff and him being at the rap party. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm so shocked. Like, people were already kind of talking about this. But we can't judge him off one scene. So I ain't gonna say too much.
Sam.
But what I will say is, though, Snaps and Pop introducing him, I think was genius. I think
Yeah.
that was great right
I
there.
definitely think that was a good segue into it because
Yes.
it might have been maybe at the beginning part of this season when I was really thinking about how they would do this Breeze thing. And like I confessed to my subscribers yesterday, I was like, look, Nick, you remember I was rocking halfway with the unique thing for a while. I was like,
No. Don't say halfway.
no, man,
Don't
that
say
was
halfway.
halfway. That was halfway. You know what I mean?
Oh
Halfway.
my God.
I was in
I, I,
fully
Oh
I was
course.
on the full unique as Breeze train
Please.
You were?
for sure because it made so much sense the way that they could have blended it. Now, let me tell you when I was like definite not when Unique went to the tailor shop and was like, "Yo, I want to look like I never left." I said, "Yep, yeah, he's no longer Breeze.
Yeah.
It's dead now." Because I can see if he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna pretend like I'm somebody else," but then he came out and was like, "Oh, I want to look like I never left." It's like, oh well, he wanted the whole Southside to know he here, so he can't say I'm Breeze tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
You know what's crazy? People still don't believe it. That Shamik Moore is Breeze. Someone DM me that was like, no, you don't understand. Unique is gonna kill Breeze and assume his name and personality. I'm like, come on, bro. Let it
Wait,
rest.
yeah.
Yes,
If
I was
you
like,
ever
bro, you scripted.
you ever go into like the power subreddit, like you got
Oh my
you
God.
got some folks in there, bro. Like some guy he was standing on business like for the last 2 weeks in there, and he was like, "Man, you guys are dumb. Unique's not Breeze. He's not Breeze, right?" And no, I think he was saying Unique was Breeze. That's what he was saying. Unique was Breeze, and there's not going to be any Shamik. And then what happened was the day the episode dropped, dude deleted his account, and people called him out. and like he can't. He's like, I hate power, man. I'm leaving. And all you see is deleted is in the username. It's like people literally, I mean, just literally can't admit when they're wrong. You know about something. It's like,
Yeah.
but I do want to say though, like last year it came out that Shamik was at the review party, the premiere party.
yeah.
So I'm like, there's no way they bring in this Shamik Moore unless he's going to be this huge person, and they're not going to even leak that if he's coming a season before. So that's how I knew he was going to be introduced this season. At some point. I didn't know if it was going to be Breeze or not, but I still was holding off on. I just wanted it personally to be unique. I wanted it personally to be him because they set all of the scenes up for him to be like he was like, oh, my name don't ring bells out here no more, and it don't hold no weight. Like they were setting these small little things up, but obviously looking back at it now, that was just to show that he was going to have this huge comeback when he came back, which he did.
When you really think about it,
But you just looking at it that way because you wanted him to be Breeze. That's
Yes,
the thing.
yeah.
yes, because
People
I'm like,
wanted him
oh my
so
god, that
badly to
really
be
was
Breeze.
so crazy. Because they could have
Oh my
been
God.
Unique is in the hospital bed and he's watching Jeopardy because he can't watch nothing else. He can't move. So I'm like, that shit makes sense.
Listen, we just hit 100 viewers on the stream. Y'all hit the like button, man. Show them
Yes,
some
sir.
love. So, like I said, I was. If you ever catch me on one of my videos, let me just put it like this, because I know subscribers are here, right? Look, there's a way that I craft my videos, and I'm intentional about it. So,
We know.
I'll present it in a way where like
Your hooks is fire. I'll give you that. Your hooks would be like,
yeah.
His titles, bro. Every time I see his titles, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what he's doing. I know what he's doing.
Listen, I mean,
I know exactly.
you got to put the information, the questions out to the people. Sometimes I don't want it to sometimes come back on me like I look stupid, right? So if I'm really unsure about something, I'll be like, how could you not see that Unique is Breeze? And then I'll walk away, right? I'll see what everybody says, right? And then I'll gather the information and be like, yeah, that probably doesn't make sense for real. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I really don't know, right? But then sometimes I'll have like a document I'm working on all season long and going through notes and be like, yeah, it's not adding up. It's not adding up. But you know what? A lot of the people are rocking with it, so we can we'll roll with it for a little bit more and then get some more information and kind of change it around. But
Well,
You know what I want to know, though?
I don't mind looking stupid.
Who,
'cause everybody
who,
think
who
I'm
sent you that email? Who sent you that email linking Breeze's government name? Who did that?
like
Because they could be in a lot of trouble.
he gave me his name. He told me just to use his initials. His name's in the email, right? But like he mentioned that he has a connection to the show, and I always
Mm.
wonder, right? Why I appreciate it. I was like, dang, bro, you really out here like leaking stuff. And the email address is a dummy email address. So I'm just like, yeah, but I was like,
Mm.
is it just a fan who's super sharp, or is it someone really really connected? And it seems like it's the latter, someone who's really really connected. And so I was like, all right, bro, because when I saw that started to make after I posted the video, niggas posted that on Reddit, and they was fighting over that. Yo, man, y'all see this? His name is Brandford Frab. So I'm just sitting over there like, yes, yes, talk about
Yes.
it. So
Yeah.
that was funny, man. So super chat from Ronald. Shout out to Ronald, man. He's one of the regulars here whenever I go live. He says, I never wanted Unique to be Breeze, but a new character. A few weeks ago, I suggested on another channel that he would be connected to Snaps and Pops. And that right there is one of those things where not a lot of people probably were thinking about it too far in advance. I know at the beginning of this season, I had an initial thought like, what if it is a new character? Because everybody else was saying it's gonna be a new character. Like, what if it is? And I was like, wouldn't it make sense if like Snaps and Pops do they have kids? I was like, man, what if it's like one of their sons or something like
No,
that?
that's what I would love to know if they have kids.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I don't know.
But
I don't know.
so I was so glad because I feel like Snap and Pop have been getting the short end of the stick. It's like they've been being thrown in there, but I feel like this season they developed them to the point where it's like, okay, well, we can see that they are actually probably the most powerful characters in the universe.
Yeah.
You know
Easily.
what I mean? The way that they get down, like then it was like I see why they was doing that shit with Rock, because if they get Rock out the way, and they already saying they have a distro, so I'm like, okay, they trying to really take over and let Breeze and Kanan, you know what I mean? And he's like, oh, you only want me because I'm young and you can control me, and it's just like, yeah, duh.
Duh. Duh.
Yeah, they're
But what y'all think about Snaps and Pop's rise though? Because the way they kind of just came and rose up to the scene is insane. Like they really been playing chess from the very beginning, just
Right.
getting his whole organization out the way, and now turning him against his mom. And I remember even in the first episode, was the second episode, it was like, I can see that your devotion to your mother is kind of shaky. So they've been
Yeah,
through this.
been in his head.
They got him. He's cooked. He's cooked.
And then obviously then now we find out that Breeze is their nephew, so it's like this makes total sense. Now they are even more impactful into the storyline, because it's like, okay, well, they not just some regular random people. They actually the relatives to the man that's been mentioned the most.
Yeah.
which is
And what
true.
happens
I was
when Kanan finds out?
very
Snaps and Pop are the ones who've been doing all this shit. What's
And
Bree been a thing? He's like, yo, I'm trying to get your uncle out the way. They did me dirty. How's Breeze gonna feel about that? Then you got that conflict. Ah,
and
that's gonna
and
be
that's
that's gonna be
that's
a
the
lot.
question. Kanan's going to find out eventually, right? But he's not going to be able to, on principle, be the one to
make a
take
move.
him out because of that connection to Breeze. We know that connection with the Breeze is going to be a long term one at this stage. So how is that gonna, is it gonna be Lou? Is it gonna be Marv? Like, question to everybody: who do you think is going to be the one to take Snaps and Pops out? Do they get
I don't
taken
think they
out?
do. I don't think they do get taken out, because I don't think Kanan, if
Mm.
Kanan has killed Rock, I don't think he ever finds out. Because if he does find out and then he goes to try to go after, Snap and Pop, then he got an issue with Breeze. He don't want that. Well, Branford. Sorry, his name is Branford.
So, another super chat from Ronald. He says, "Oh, Nick, his connection. You can see he got frozen up a little bit." So another super chat from Ronald. He said that if you check Kanan's reaction to Unique being short term, I called that out too. Look at how he looked at
Mm.
Snaps real quickly when he said this, like, and then Snaps tried to kind of brush it off a little bit, whatever. What do you guys think about that?
Wait, say that again? You said what?
I think he's
Short
starting to
term?
kind of see what's going on now.
The way how Kanan looked at Snaps when he mentioned that Unique was only going to be involved short term.
Um, what they going? They gonna use him, and then when they no longer need him anymore, get him up out of there.
But see, that gives Kanan more clues as to what's going on behind the scenes, and that'll cause him to really start to connect the dots. But you know what? I like your point though, Sam. I could see Snaps and Pops sticking around, even maybe, maybe even a little bit in Origins. Maybe they don't become that final boss that we just take out like that, you know?
Right, but I don't think that I don't think that Snap and Pop ever meet Tommy and Ghost, if that's the case. You know what I mean? They probably are leaving them out of it. So they really just soldiers. You know, just like how Crank and all them other people like work for Kanan. I think it's gonna be like that. OC, like they don't never meet the bosses. Which is funny because that's why Kanan don't suspect because he like Famous has never met Snap and Pop.
Yeah,
So he like they don't I don't have no reason to ever think it was them because they don't even know Famous. So that he thinks.
that is true.
Right. So that's why it's like it gotta be Rock because Rock know all of them and Snap and Pop don't. So he's trying to figure out well how the hell would they even know?
Said maybe Branford is tired of the old heads, as he called them, and will willingly take them out himself. You think he'd take out a nah, man? I don't know.
Oh,
But is that a far removed possibility? Because if you really think about it, I mean, they already have a theme of matricide and patricide going in the show as it is in the Power universe. So is it far out of, is it far out of reach?
well, I mean, one of them definitely, obviously, Snap could go, but Pop is, I think Pop is going to have an amazing season 5.
Do tell.
I think Pop has always been the muscle, and she even kind of hinted at it in that interview with Kimi. I think she's always kind of been the muscle. She's the one that Loki goes on, and she's more like Rock. How Rock goes in and she can make the kill. I think she's always been the muscle. And Snap has just been the organizer. He does the business side, and then Pop go and do the dirty work.
I did notice something a little different this time around. When we were looking at the scene with all of them outside, it was a lot more busier because they were near the mall. But it's like their side of the street, they were like heavily like bodyguard and crewed up, Snaps and Pops. And I know usually when we go to the restaurant, we see them like they have their crew, but like it was like deep, out there. And so that tells me it's so much more context that one scene you kind of added to them because kind of prior to the Famous thing, we weren't really peeping them too heavy. Of course, I think that was intentional. But even shortly after that, I still wasn't taking them too serious. Some old heads, like you guys said, take them out, blah 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 blah. Now I'm like, these guys might have that deep old money, and they got enough people to probably, make a run. What y'all think?
Get taken out.
You think they get taken out?
I think they'll get taken out. Because look at it, like you see when they kind of introduce Greece to Kane, like they're trying to control everything, right? How you take Kane and you shouldn't feel about that? Like they're trying to be the on top. You really want to do answer the snap and pop. You know what snaps and pop? They're gonna want to. That's the problem. So
your connections in.
I wouldn't be surprised if Breeze was like, "Let's take them out."
Yeah, your connections up and down, man. Like we got you. Like we got.
Oh yeah, I was wondering that because I'm like I can't really hear him, but I can hear you. But yeah, you said basically Breeze, maybe the one, but
yeah. Someone said Pops is gonna take Snap.
Y'all can hear me?
If it comes down to it. Yeah, we got you now. I don't know. Pops taking out Snaps if it comes down to it. You guys think they become series regulars inside season 5?
Wait, Pops taking out Snaps? Yeah. That's a hell of a theory.
That is.
But why?
Can they be series regulars though? I feel like their cast is already big enough. Like now you got Breeze, Stefano's still alive. It seems like how many people do you have in this cast as series regulars?
Well, they are already season regulars because season regular just mean that you in more episodes than you not.
But they're not in every episode though.
They damn sure was. Damn near.
But they were still
Nah,
the
there was like two,
recurring
three
cast.
episodes where there was like
They
two,
were
three
recurring.
episodes where we didn't see Smash or Pop.
Right, but 7? It was in 7 episodes? That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm saying I assume that series regulars are going to be in every episode, like
Nah.
the Rocks, the Lou, the Marvin, the
I
Kanans,
gotta go back
G
and see, but
Rock.
I think it was in damn near every episode, even if it was a little small, little small scene.
That was one of the
Yeah.
things that really kind of tipped it off for me too, was seeing that if you look at the official cast list, and then I watched the rolling credits after the fact too. Is like they weren't in the intro credits. They were when they were kind of in the ending credits. It was in that sort of recurring, capacity, sort of even before a lot of the other guest stars. And so that was what kind of tipped off a lot of the whole famous theory for me as well, with them. But if they do, keep in mind, stars kind of crunching their numbers with the show, and even though it's going into the last season, I would imagine that they probably would be main cast members going forward, for that.
Absolutely.
Which,
Yeah.
when you think about just this week alone, I enjoyed the fact that we actually got an update on Power Origins, because we were thinking that was dead. You know what I mean? So that
Right.
No,
was,
we knew it wasn't good. I was
yeah.
just hoping that it wasn't a
I,
season
I
6
thought
or
I thought that shit was dead.
We got Kimi in the
Hello.
building. All right, let us stabilize. Kimi, you're
yeah. I was
on.
just
Black
hoping
people
that it
time.
wasn't yeah. I was hoping it wasn't a season 6 of Raising Kanan, because if it would have been a season 6, then we're not getting Origins until 2028.
Why is this?
That is true.
Damn.
Kimi, you got us?
I already
And
did
I
get
was
30.
Hang on. What's happening right now? Why does the? Give me 1 second.
Okay. So that's a good point. So 2020, man, 2027, because we get Force
Yep.
this fall, and let's say they push that a little bit into 26, right? Then
Yeah,
let's say,
I think it's gonna be mostly in 26. I think we don't get Force till December.
yeah, I think they're gonna push that back
Damn.
far. Yeah, they gotta milk it, bro. They don't got no more shows. They gotta milk it.
They gotta make it.
That's the truth.
Uh,
That is the truth. They gotta milk it.
Stars be lying, bro. My God.
Because if we're being real, this is they don't got no more BMF to fill that in. So I think after the season, BMF, yeah, we're done with that, bro. That's for sure.
Hey, I have a couple of kind of things that I wish I would have got. Like at least one. I wish we would have got the famous kill scene in the finale. Like if they started out,
Facts.
you know what I mean? Like with Pop questioning Famous and then the cops actually torturing him. I would have loved to see that of them getting information out of him. And that way it would have made us a little bit more sympathetic to the point where we knew he was giving information to the cops, but he was getting forced to say those things. Just like Crystal, we watched her literally give the information to Pop. Like, oh, he think it's Rock, but I don't think this, and blah 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 blah, and then she gets killed. So I would have loved to see that from Famous. Like he starts spilling out all of Kanan's dirt. Oh, well, Rock got this or do this, and then she tells them to take him out. I would have loved to see that to start the episode.
So, question. Did anybody reach out to AJ Ortiz to try to figure out why? Because I watched an interview that he did. I won't say with who. I don't know if we can say who it was with.
You can say
But
you can say who it was. He didn't respond to my
so
message, but you can say who it was.
no. So then I won't. I won't. But why if he knew that he was going to be killed since season 3, and we all kind of knew that this character was going to eventually perish, why wasn't he able to film any scenes?
Mhm.
So Kimi is asking the question I was gonna come on and say, right? With all these brilliant minds that we have on this panel right now, let's ask a question that she just asked. What if he knew? Why wasn't he filming scenes? Like, is what he was saying true? I don't know if you guys saw the interview. Is what he was saying, the actor who played Famous, is what he was saying true? Right? Not to discredit anything, but did something happen? Like, why wouldn't you, dude?
I think
5
he
minutes.
I think he gave the most political answers that he could.
Come on, brother.
Agreed.
Let's be honest here. He did something.
Here we go.
He did something. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get into all the details, but there's no way you just kill a character off and you don't have them shoot any scenes in the entire season like that.
Yeah,
There's
And then the one scene that we did see, there was a body double, and they only filmed from the back of the head.
that's the thing. That
there's
is
definitely some things going on.
that's the thing, man. I don't know.
Yep.
A lot of
50
rumors.
don't play. 50 don't play.
What I what I
Oh, and
like
another question
about
I have, another quick segue.
yeah.
What is the timeline? Because now I don't think it is actually 1993 at this point. Because I was watching,
No,
I
it's
think I
still
was
93.
watching,
We're still
right,
in
but I was
93.
watching another YouTube channel, and they were saying that on the tombstone of uh Rock's mom,
Crystal?
no,
No.
no, no,
Joyce.
on Joyce, on Joyce's
Okay.
tombstone, it said that she died in November of '92. And when Kanan went to
So
go
maybe
visit her,
we were calculating it wrong.
Yeah.
either that or that's a flashback scene. But I'm like, it don't make sense for them to jump back. You know what I mean? Like why? I don't understand why they. What's up with the timeline? She said, "Oh, you
So-
haven't been to school since the new year started." But I'm like, bro, but we had a 3-month skip because when Ronnie got killed, wasn't that the summertime?
Well, they had on coats.
Bro, I don't know. It's New York, so they could start wearing coats at the end of September.
They can start filming.
You know what I'm saying?
outside,
Like, for real.
in the winter, and so they'll have to play like that in summer. But yeah,
Right.
So-
I know Famous died in October. Joyce dies in November. But then I'm thinking that the new year kicked in, but there was no snow the whole season. So I'm like, we can't be, if we're talking New York, there's no way there was no snow the whole season, and they talking about the new year. I'm like, so that must have been September where she was talking about Kanan not going to school. Because the school year starts in September for the high schoolers. So
Mhm.
I don't know what the timeline is of when Ronnie got killed.
yeah.
So
I think when it comes to Powerball,
kind
we're
of
gonna treat the
asked-
timeline with a grain of salt.
Kimi, go on.
Um,
Go, Kimi.
So I kind of asked about the timeline, and here's as much as I've gotten. So Kanan is still theoretically 17 years old, or at least that's what Sasha says. Says that he's still 17. They refer to him, Jukebox refers to him as an adult, which made me think that he had turned 18. And because so many months had passed, and when we start the season, we only are 3 months ahead of what last happened. So maybe what happened prior, or when they shot Ronnie, they were still in fall, and then, or excuse me, at the end of spring,
Okay. And skip the whole
and
summer?
that's why they still had on coats.
And
But
skip the whole
Sasha
summer?
referred to him as a 17-year-old whenever he talks about him. He says 17.
Right, which would make sense because the season before was like a 3-month time period. So
Mhm.
whatever. But in season 2, it's the summertime, because he's coming back from
Right,
spending
yes.
the summer with his family or whatever. So now
Well,
if
it's the
this
end of
is the
summer.
case- right. So now if this is the case, at the end of season 3, he then turns 17 over the summer break, and then we're starting this season in the fall. I just didn't understand the whole skip to October for Famous finding out that he was dead. At least now his tombstone says October. Joyce's tombstone says November. So we have not touched 93 yet.
So then we still in 92 then. Y'all know that's
Right,
his favorite year.
Right, but I just was so like, I just couldn't understand it. I'm just like, huh?
I feel like they don't even know where they at, bro. They just writing it and throwing it. They don't
I
care,
think
bro.
That's the
Come
appropriate
on,
answer, to be
it's
honest.
power.
so
It's
that
power,
part I
bro.
don't agree with. I don't agree with that part at all. I think that
uh,
they are in 92. Maybe there have been some continuity errors, but they're definitely in 90. If they didn't skip ahead and if the tombstone said 92 and the dirt was still fresh, like
Mhm.
they're still in 92. There hasn't been a new year yet. And I think
Right,
when
but
we
November
continue
and no
on to
snow, King?
season, say it again.
November and no snow? Come on now.
We didn't have snow this year in 90 this year in November.
Yeah, but like it's colder than that though, at least.
I mean, they had on furs. What do you want? Joey popped out in the chinchilla.
Keenan
What
had
else do you need?
Keenan had on the lightest jacket possible when he went to go
He's a
see his
young
grandmother.
boy. Do you see how these kids go to school
Oh
now?
my
They wear
god.
hoodies. They wear
Wow.
hoodies and they go to school.
Bro, I don't know. This
They
is this
don't,
is this
bro.
is a
They
little
don't know
confusing.
either. That's the problem. They don't know either
they
which
don't.
side of
They
it
they
is.
don't. They don't know. They don't know, and then they hope that we don't pay attention to those details. But we do. We do.
Because if you
Bro,
ask me,
I'm just
this
trying
is
to
a
get a
lot to be
timeline
happening
because they
in
don't.
1 year. Like that's a
Yeah, they don't.
lot.
Mm.
Right, and they don't tell us how much time has passed until we start seeing. Oh, well, famous. He's been gone for 2 months. Okay, so now we try to do the math. Okay,
Mm.
well, when the hell did Ronnie die? Okay, that makes sense if he died in the spring. The summer just passed. All right, cool. Whatever happened in the summer happened. Now we in the fall. Okay, now what's the start of next season? Is the next season in winter?
So
Or are we
next
gonna skip
no.
season,
winter again?
I don't think there's gonna be a jump ahead. I think they're gonna continue on from right where we left it.
So we going into
Mm.
Christmas.
I hope so.
Hopefully we get a power Christmas.
That's
We
not
ain't
their
never got no
way.
power.
That's
That's
not
true.
their way.
We have never seen a Christmas in Power
Yeah.
before. Like niggas don't
Never.
celebrate
No
Christmas.
holiday.
Ever,
They
Valentine's
bro.
don't.
Day something.
They don't.
They don't celebrate any holidays.
No. It's all
Yeah.
misery all year
Misery
long. That's
Yeah.
it.
all the
It's not a happy life. It's not a happy life.
I'm still waiting on the power summer where we can see Tariq in some shorts and some J's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't
uh,
need to bring Tariq back for anything.
Oh, whoa,
Just
whoa, whoa, whoa! Not too
oh
much on Tariq.
Hey,
Okay,
hey, don't get
not
him
too much on
started, B.
Tariq.
Don't get him started.
yeah, that's
Don't get
just
him started.
that's my you
okay, so
know.
question. Did you guys discuss, I'm sorry that I'm late. I thought we were starting at a different time, so I apologize. But did you guys discuss the possible spin-offs that may be coming already?
We
Mm,
touched on Origins a
not
little bit,
yet.
but the other one we didn't talk about as yet. What are your thoughts? Because I mean, I know a lot of people are like the Tariq and Tommy spinoff, but I don't know.
I hope not.
I don't, I from the interviews that I've watched of Michael Rainey Jr., he kind of seems like he's over this.
He is.
Am I bugging?
He
I
is.
it
No,
Do you
it
believe him
doesn't even
though?
seem like he wants to do this anymore.
I
And
don't
I
think
get
he's
it.
over it
Like you want to spread your wings a little bit. But I don't think that there's gonna be a Tommy and Tariq show. I think that there will be another segue into Tommy going someplace else because Force is ending, and then they'll bring something else for him because his story isn't done. Um, but as for Tariq being a part of it or Michael Rainey Jr. being a part of it, it seems kind of up in the air. It looks. I saw Woody post something about, oh, we finished filming May 2023, and it kind of looks like he's looking for more information about what's going to happen with his character or with the Tahadas and how that's going to carry out in the next iteration of their show. And he has twins on the way, so you know he needs a job.
Boy,
So
Woody Woody ain't shooting blanks. Twins? Wow.
Yeah,
twins.
twins is
I thought it was
crazy.
a joke. I thought it was a joke. I thought he was playing, but
Yeah.
he really has twins on the way.
Oh, he's shooting straight.
But
Okay.
the post that he put up about them ending filming in 2023 and nothing else is happening, that kind of tells me like maybe they were told something else, or maybe I could be just speculating and I'm wrong.
But here's the thing: do you really believe these people when they say stuff? Because I don't.
Wait, say What did you say?
Do you believe them when they say this stuff though? Like when you see Michael Rainey say, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do this anymore," bro. You want the power checks, bro.
Something
No,
that I've
Come
learned
on.
is to never believe them. They're actors and they're all liars.
Yep.
I don't believe anything people say.
I don't think
Yeah.
Michael is tired of being Tariq. I think he's tired of being Tariq, and Tariq is not progressing, because that's what he says on
Facts.
all of his interviews. It's like there
Hmm.
is no
Hmm.
benefit for Tariq doing what he's doing. He's not able to go, blow the money or whatever. Like at
Yeah.
least like show Tariq being able to go to. He's sitting courtside at games. He's flying to all these games. He's actually spending the money. You know what I mean? It's like he's enjoying the luxury life, and obviously all the back, all the other shit happens too. But I just want to see a different transformation. We can't see the same character where he's in school, he's struggling to do both, and then it's like, you know what I mean? Let him graduate, let him open all these businesses, let him enjoy his money, but he have to kill people on the side. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
No.
Let him enjoy the fruits of his labor.
Or
Yeah.
or they just run influence and just have Tariq do the dirty work for Tate.
Do
Mm.
y'all think influence is gonna happen?
I hope so.
I would love if that was the
I don't
next
think
show
so,
that
but
they
I
announced.
would
I
love
would
it.
love that. I would love it. Like,
Please.
please,
Give Lorenz
But,
this
but
show, bro. He
who's writing
deserves
that show though? Let's be honest. Who's writing that show?
whoever it is, it doesn't need to be the
it. Give it to
ghostwriters.
Gary Lennon. Give it to Gary Lennon.
Even Gary Leonard is more of an action. Like he's great when it comes to action. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Sasha Penn, who is really good at the storytelling aspect of it. I think if we had an influence, it has to run like a black version of Suits with a sprinkle of
Mm.
scandal.
Hmm.
But at least Gary Lennon is a power OG, though. Like, you want someone who's been there from the beginning to write these kind of shows. You don't want some random new person who doesn't have a feel
You
for what
know,
power
what was her
is
name?
supposed to
Monica
do.
Mitchell. What was that her name?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think maybe her. I wish Courtney could come back because I feel like ever since she left, the storylines have.
Uh,
I don't want to hear what you got to say, Nick.
Don't get him started.
I don't even. I don't mean to start you up, but I don't even want to hear what you
I'm
got to say.
sorry. I'm sorry.
But
At least he and I are on the
You
same
got it, King.
wavelength.
You
Like,
got it.
no, I miss
Hey,
Courtney
yeah,
being
yeah.
there.
We know. We know.
I miss Courtney being there. The story. I mean, say what you want, right? Y'all may not agree with her killing Ghost off, to which it was always foreshadowed that he had to go. I mean, his name is Ghost, but in terms of what the story was when he was there, when she was there, even up to the first two seasons of book two, like that was some of
Mm.
the way how they transitioned into the new show. That's only because she was there under her tutelage, under her leadership. After she left, you can definitely tell the difference in the writing and where it went and how the story went. It didn't click after a while. And I remember, what was it, the last season? Was it last season, the episode 5, where I was just like, I know y'all lying. Like
yeah.
I couldn't
But here's the
They would
thing,
have
I
though.
lost.
couldn't even do a
Courtney.
review of the show because I knew how negative I would be, and I hate being negative, negative, negative. But it was
Mm.
so bad.
Mm.
But
Right.
And
why
you
is
could
Because
she?
tell the
Isn't she
difference.
involved though? Like, she's still an executive producer, right? She don't got to be
I
running the
mean,
show.
they're her
She can still kind
characters.
of.
She still has EP credits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she has
still,
a
well, she's
first
they
look
need to
still,
bring her
deal
she's
back.
still
at
in there writing
Netflix,
too
I
because
think.
she's getting writer credit.
Yeah, I think that's like a legacy contract
Mm.
thing. She has a first look deal at Netflix, and so I think a lot of her attention
Ooh.
is sort of over there, just for whatever she's developing. Somebody put it in the chat a second ago. I think the name of her show is Nemesis, which she's
Yeah.
working
Yeah, I
on.
saw that.
Yeah, so I mean, I
They
don't
got my
think
guy
that's.
Cooper Sax in there too.
Let's go.
There you go.
Shout out to
So
Shane.
wherever Courtney goes, I'm pretty sure we can see Shane follow.
So I hope it's not that
Yep.
Empire showrunner.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I just want whoever, if influence is done, it has to be done right. And a lot of people was disagreeing with me on this. I think that show has to have a star-studded cast.
I think so. I
Yeah.
agree.
Don't get me
I
wrong.
agree.
I think that Lorenz Tate can
Mm.
carry a show by itself, But only thing is, I just want him to have people. You know who I really want to be in that show?
Who?
Journey from The Great Debaters.
Oh,
Journey
Journey
Smirnoff. Oh,
Smollett.
Smollett.
Yes,
Sorry, Smollett.
I
Smoothie.
want her in the Power Universe so bad.
I don't think she would do it.
But if
I
it's an
don't think she
influence type
would.
of show, she's already had movies and stuff where she's been a lawyer. So that actually makes sense to segue into that type of, you know what I mean? You could bring
Mm.
Ramona back, you could bring Simon Stern back. So you got OGs that can easily Stephen
Okay.
Knott, you got OGs that can easily fill in. And then you throw in a couple of names like that. I think the show goes to the moon because we're coming in with like, oh, okay, they put some big names in here. You add maybe you can add a rapper or two or whatever you want to do. I don't know. Somebody that's gonna take it
No,
No,
serious.
maybe
no.
they will. That's the
No, they will.
MO.
No, they will. They will, bro. But Joey Badass,
No more
I didn't
B-list.
really expect Joey Badass did Raising Kanan. I was like, oh, Joey Badass, what the hell? I know him from rapping and shit, but I didn't think he was an actor. He killed it.
Yeah,
But he
actually,
was acting
Joey
before
had
that.
another
He had
role
actually
that
done
was
some
really, really
projects.
good.
Right.
Yeah.
For
Mr.
influence, I
Robot,
think. Sorry, go ahead.
you know who'd be good in the show? Sterling K. Brown.
But he's on Paradise.
Yeah, he's getting paid now, bro. He's not coming. He's not coming over here. He's getting Disney Hulu
Say
money.
not coming
Wait,
here.
wait, wait.
Yeah, he's not coming there.
What did he say?
Sterling K. Brown.
Facts. He did that bag.
Yeah, that's not happening. He just got his season 2 locked in. I think they're gonna start filming soon. And like I said,
Yeah.
that's a Disney Hulu show. They pay
I
different
think they're
over there,
already filming.
you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
It's a
So
different type
Yeah,
of check
yeah.
over there.
yeah, the check clears. Not saying it doesn't on Stars, for all the Stars
Every
people
time.
who might be out there. I'm not saying that.
Not from
Yeah.
Mari.
Nick,
I don't.
please
I
take a
don't know.
drink, a sip,
I'm sorry.
something,
I'm sorry.
anything.
Okay,
Just
okay.
take a
Okay.
little sip. Thank you. Just a little
Okay.
bit. Thanks. I need you to chill for tonight.
So let me segue into this next question, right?
I can't be too
All
pregnant.
right.
Is Marvin the unsung MVP of this season, or
Absolutely not.
is he a dead man walking?
Dead man walking.
I have thoughts.
Yeah.
Go on.
Who wants to go first?
The real MVP is Snap and Pop. But whatever. What do I know?
Mm.
Okay. In terms of the Thomas family, I think that Marvin will always be the MVP, right? Because he does the things that he may not do it in the right time, but those people had to die. He was gonna snitch. Well, Terry was gonna snitch. The other, who was the other person that he killed?
Early? You mean
So
early?
huh?
You mean early?
No. Early, I knew Early was gonna die from before the second episode, but
Oh,
I'm
Terry.
talking
Oh, yeah,
about
yeah. Terry, the Asian dude.
Terry,
Yeah,
the
yeah, Terry.
distributor. Like
Yeah.
they got upset because he killed him, but that person
Mhm.
had to die. He was ready to rat them out, and if he didn't do that, the operation would have gone belly up anyway. You may not like his tactics, you may not like how he does things, but he's gonna have to do it regardless. And something very telling that I've heard when we did an interview a while ago with Sasha, and I asked him about how Marvin is messing up, and he was just like word for word. Can I curse or no?
Well, this is a family friendly channel, but
Okay,
we've already passed that part of it, so some people already done this. So I guess it's whatever.
so I won't curse. I'll edit it. But he says Marvin can do whatever the f he wants, and I was just like noted. So that means that that character has a ton of plot armor.
Yeah.
He can do whatever it
Yep.
is that he wants, and he's really not going to get in trouble because Marvin has skated jail. The FBI isn't investigating him anymore. He has been killing people in
Right.
broad daylight, crashing the car, killing people, doing whatever, right? So I think he'll always be the MVP, but he'll be, like you say, the unsung hero. He'll never get the credit that he deserves because of his timing. And you know when they said he'll never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity, that always stuck with me because even though he's doing the thing that he's supposed to do, it's just not the way how they want him to do it. And he's never gonna concede to that because he's the older brother and he still has something to prove to himself about how he operates within the family.
This is true.
Mhm. Correct.
This is true.
Mm.
You just gave me a
But
lot to
snaps
think
and
about.
pots,
You know what that reminds me of when he was talking to his
MVPs.
mom.
I'm sorry.
But
The
snaps and
manipulation
pots,
is on 10.
they are the architects. They are the architects. And I asked Sasha about
they
that. I'm like,
created the
are they the
game.
architects of this whole thing? He's like, no, no, no. And I'm like, it doesn't look like
Yeah,
it.
that's Williams. I
That's
don't
not how
know.
it's looking.
You heard what Snap said. We made the game, Raquel.
Well, catch this though. So Kimi, before you hopped in, I think the biggest question on everyone's minds, I think everybody else hit it already. But do you think that Rock deserved what was coming to her, and do you believe she's actually dead?
I feel like I don't want to answer this question, but here's what I'll say. I think from Kanan's perspective, and because of what everyone does in Power, where they don't explain themselves, you don't have the full picture. She could have saved a lot of heartache by just explaining to Kanan who his dad was without him going to find out himself. I don't know if that's reason enough to kill your mother, but but I don't think Rock deserved to even be confronted by Kanan in this way. Do I think that she's really gone? I would say that if she is gone, it would be a disservice to the show and to the story if she doesn't continue the character,
Kimi is good.
especially in
Like
season
Kimi,
five.
she has some sort of PR
She's
team.
medium trained.
She's good. She's good. I
I really
watched
disagree. I feel like
her
I feel
interview.
like I love Bettina to death, but I feel like the Rock character was eventually going to have to fade out anyway because technically speaking, by season 5, Kanan should be the lead.
Yeah, he should be
He's
raised.
getting
But
raised
is but
now
are they
in a
finished
different
raising
way,
him? Is the question.
right?
He's
But
not
he's
finished
still
being
gonna get.
raised.
He is by Breeze. Breeze is gonna teach him a
Right.
Right, and
whole
we
new
have
side
to
of the
see
game.
that I think we have to see what I would have wanted to see because I agree with you in a sense, right? But I do want to see the handoff because right now they're still in tug of war, kind of, whereas he's out on his
Mm.
own, but not really because he still receives his product from his mother. That sounds so weird to say,
Right.
but I
Yeah.
do want to see the transition between him flat out leaving his mother and then her trying to fight to get him back on her side. Like I never thought he would just go to Breeze immediately once we knew that he was already involved in the Thomas organization.
Yep.
Hmm.
I think I don't know. Shamik Moore character just seems like very young. Obviously, Breeze clearly is the one that kind of helped them into the game or whatever. But it just don't seem like it. Just seemed like they both about to be partners. So, but in the original Power, he said, "Me and your father, we used to work for Breeze." So I'm just like, well, it don't. It seemed like as a partnership right at this moment.
But that
They
begs
didn't
the question of
introduce
how much of the
they
old
didn't
show are they
introduce
going to
him,
incorporate, though?
but huh?
That begs the question of how much of the OG power are they going to stick to? Like, are they going to stick to that original story that we heard in the OG power? They're going to take a different lane and do their own thing.
I think Sasha tries. I think he respects Kanan a lot, and because it's not a lot to override, right? It's a relatively new show, but I see they definitely he's good. Like I like how Sasha does the show. He's good. He's not sloppy with it. He takes his time to weave in through it, and so he still leaves little areas so where obviously this will likely be answered next season. But okay, Kanan's like, hey, I went to go see, I just came visiting my mom. Like that's the big thing everybody, kind of thinks about as well. There was a
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of your
so
interview,
I was
Kimi.
about to tell I was
You
about
cut
to
it
say.
out. Like she edited it like out. Like when she asked Sasha that. What was that about?
Uh-oh.
I can't
You
say.
keeping secrets?
Yeah, that's what it
I'm
is.
not keeping secrets. I'm
She's
just
the one who sent me the email. That's what she sent me the email with Branford Frady. That was her. It was
Oh,
her. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh wow!
um,
Don't say that.
so
you moving like that? You moving like
No, it
that?
wasn't her. It wasn't her. I
That's
promise it was guys.
crazy.
Don't get her in
She
trouble.
got the, she got the inside
Don't
scoop.
get it. Yeah. Don't get it.
so okay. I was gonna ask y'all if y'all. So I did ask Sasha, um, about the scene that we see in Power, where he says, "I'm going to go visit my mother." I don't remember what his response was.
Mm.
Well, but I still think Kanan lied about quite a bit because he also when he was playing pool with
Because he's a
Tommy,
liar.
right?
He's
When
a
he
liar.
was playing pool with
Literally,
Tommy, he said
literally.
that he never had a relationship with his father, and that's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a liar. He's a manipulator. That's what he's been taught to do his whole life.
Bro, that's what I be
He's a
saying when
liar.
people
He's a
mention him going
manipulator.
to see his mom. I'm like,
So let me segue into this question, guys. Was Famous's death wasted, or was it the perfect trigger?
I hate to say this, but Kanan, don't kill me for saying this, y'all.
Oh,
Kanan was more hurt from Crystal's death than he was for Famous.
facts, facts.
Kanan lost his
Do not
cat.
kill me
What
in
you
the
mean?
comments for that statement.
He lost his cat, bro. I'd be hurt too. What you mean?
Crystal was the love
You
of his life,
know,
and that was the icing on
Bro
the
was
cake.
locked in.
like how things. I, here's what I want y'all to think about. I think Famous's death sparked something in him in relation to how he views himself, how he views his mother, how he views Jukebox, right? And how he views his uncles, because he saw that everyone was mourning, but he doesn't really believe Rock. The only person that he knows or feels that would go out and ride for him in terms of Famous would be Juke. So, does he have to keep his emotions in check? Because I think that there is some sort of guilt associated with Famous because of how he treated him before Famous went missing. So, he's almost trying to stay level headed and not really crash out the way how you think that he is for Crystal. Now, compounding how he feels about what happened to Famous and the guilt that he feels associated with him and him not being able to find him because it was drawn out, right? So you don't really get to grieve in the moment because your grief is on a string, essentially, because you don't know where he is, you don't know what happened to him, and then when you finally figure out what happened to him, months have passed. And it's not saying that you're not grieving the person, but it's a different way how you process it, I
Yeah.
think, or maybe he processed it differently. So imagine finding out your friend was tortured and killed, and then you find out Unique is alive and he is disrupting the entire business, and you have beef with your mom, and then on top of it your girl goes missing, and then you find out she got done dirty too. So yeah, he's losing it right now. And I don't know if one is less or more. It's just that the both of them together is too much for him to handle. And remember,
When
his
he
prefrontal cortex isn't fully formed. He's only
Mm.
when he,
17.
At
when
all.
he basically
At
admitted
all.
it when he was pointing the gun at Rock, he admitted it. Basically, he was like, "Well, I kind of was like, okay, I can understand why you killed Famous. He was snitching or whatever the case may be. But Crystal, why you did that? You know what I mean? Like when he said that, I was just like, oh, okay. Clearly we see what he's mad about. He was never letting Crystal go.
Yeah.
I think that was just icing on. I think Crystal was just icing on the cake, though. Like, you killed my girl, and you were the last one to see her. I get why he kind of felt like that. Let's be honest, Crystal was more valuable than Famous was. She was actually helping him and actually giving him like valuable information that he could use.
Yeah.
Famous was kind of,
She was keeping the
he
stress
wasn't really
relief.
trying to be in that light. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Giving
Joyce
him
could
that
have been
cat.
icing. Joyce could have been icing on the cake, honestly, because he didn't mention that obviously when he was pointing the gun at her. But when Lou told her that, I was just like, oh, Lou, why did you tell him that? He already off the rocker right now.
Well, do you feel like he
Right.
thinks his mother did something
I feel
wrong there?
like you
Because the
should.
way how Lou explained it to him was that it was a good thing. She was suffering and your mother helped her in that regard.
Yeah, but that's
So
still his
I think
grandmother,
that's
and
probably why he didn't bring that up.
Like,
right.
about life.
Oh, Nick, you're glitching again, man.
Yeah,
Gotta let you stabilize a little bit. Finish your thought, Kimi.
Oh, okay. So do you think that I think one of sorry, I think one of the reasons why he didn't bring that up in the argument with his mother was because I think he understood the point that Uncle Lou was making. But I'm just wondering why nothing else stuck with him that Lou said. Whereas they're like, okay, well, your mom is more of a man than any of the men that you know. The burden that she carries, the work that she has to put in, no one else is doing it. And I'm just trying to figure out why he isn't able to use the reasoning that Lou gave for everything else. And I wish he would have been able to talk to Marvin because Marvin said exactly what everyone should have said to him. If she did that, I would have known.
Yes, sir.
Like, like I would have known if she killed those people because I'm I'm her right hand man. I do everything with her. And they besides the thing with Unique and him doing side jobs to Stefano, to which he eventually admits, they don't really keep secrets from one another. Her and
yes,
Marvin.
yes, they do.
I just said with the exception of Unique
And the fact that she was
and
pregnant with Unique's
Thomas and
baby,
Howard. Sorry, Howard.
and she was pregnant with Unique's baby. And you're right, she didn't tell him about the whole Howard was investigating him situation.
I think her love life she keeps separate, but in terms of what they do or what they have to do for the business, I think she's pretty open with him about that. But in terms of what she does intimately, I don't think she says anything to him. Excuse me.
Mm. These some good points y'all putting out. Y'all causing me to think. What do you say, Sam?
Kami's absolutely right.
I see Nick's trying to get something in.
But I just think it would have been something. I think it would have been nice to know, for her to at least let Lou know that yeah, me and him had a little thing or whatever, instead of him
But
finding
that's
out
not her
because
way.
but he should have known that that was gonna be his ankle. I knew that was gonna come up.
Yeah.
How did Rock
I,
not know
I
that?
Can I ask y'all a question? Did it didn't rub y'all the wrong way when he kept calling her the B word? I was like, huh.
Well, I think that
That was
was
a
more to
lot.
make us. That was to make us feel it, and
Yeah.
for Lou to start to like, because Lou was boiling, but it's like he can't react because he got nothing but guns behind him.
Yeah, he was definitely trying to get Lou to
She know who to bring with her because if she would have brought Marvin with her, Marvin would have shot that whole place up.
Yeah.
The whole thing. The whole
Marvin
thing.
No,
would have took that toothpick out his mouth.
no,
Yeah, that's
because then he puts rocks. Then he puts Rock in danger.
Yeah, that's the point. Like he does what needs to be done because one, you're disrespecting his sister, you're disrespecting her honor. He's gonna air the whole thing out. The whole thing. She knew exactly who to take with her to that meeting. She would never take Marvin to something like that.
Imagine she took Kanan. That would have been hilarious.
Jesus. Because
Unique,
Kanan
no,
already
Unique probably
has
would have chilled.
suspicions.
Unique probably would have chilled.
Kanan
He
already
only did
said,
that to
well,
get
why
under
he
Lou's
didn't kill
skin.
you?
Listen, man, we got 134 people strong on this live stream. I see y'all inside here. Man, hit this like button, man. What y'all into? We're doing the Raising Kanan season 4 finale super panel. We're here with Powers Fire, Mr. Power Universe, and Private Listed, aka the Chronicles of Power podcast. We got all the folks in the building tonight. So you guys, listen, show some love, man. Hit that like button, and we'll keep it going. I don't want to keep you guys here for. I see some guys have streams going for 5 hours and whatnot. That's not what this is. So we
Well, I have a quick.
we keep
I have
it
a quick
tight.
thing. I think the worst moment of the season. at least on the internet, is when they were saying that the little boy that was in the bodega was young Ghost.
Thank
Bro,
you. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying
I
that.
lost a lot of faith in the
Thank you so
Power
much for
fans
saying
that
that.
day when I saw that. I'm like,
Oh my
bro,
God. Oh
really?
my God.
That's when I
Bro,
was like, I hate
there
it
were
here.
thousands
I
of people.
hate it here. I
and they was
hate
like,
it
oh,
here.
and the dude that was
Oh my
chasing after
Lord.
her was Angie's father. I'm like, y'all just say anything, bro. And it went viral.
It did.
It went
That's the
viral.
problem.
Everybody that posted about it went viral.
Crazy viral.
And
And you know
dudes
what's crazy? We
was
haven't
following
seen
that
bro
dude.
since.
Thank you. Bro, he ate that attention up. He ate that attention up. Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, man.
He ate
That
that up. I
we
see him post on his Instagram. He's like, "Am I young ghost?"
bro's asking, am I?
Like, come on, bro.
That annoyed me to no end. And then Stars kind of played it up too because they was like introducing the
Bro,
the
they
actor's name.
dragged
I
it.
guess
I'm
this
like,
was like his first feature for his first role, but they did like a whole introduction for him, and I was like,
Mm.
oh my god. I'm like, it's not Ghost
Whoever does
because
their
we
social
we
media for the shows, they know what they be
I
doing.
can't remember. I'll look for it and I'll send it to you because maybe it was him who did it because when I went to or whoever his handlers are, but they did like a whole thing with introducing his name and that he was going to be in Power. So
Mm.
maybe it was just his publicist who did that.
People
But
weren't
I'll double
using
check.
their brain with that because the guy. I mean, I know Ghost when they introduce him with Orange, and he's gonna be young, but he's not gonna be that young. Like he's
well,
not
this
he's not gonna
that
be
that
that
dude is
young.
like 19 years old.
Yeah, but he looks like a pipsqueak. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna go that direction.
He's like 12.
Yeah. So that's my thing. But snaps and pops. No, actually, before we go there, I think we got this unique being Breeze. That part of it getting dismissed, of course. We were talking about that real briefly before Kimi hopped on. We didn't get Kimi's take on it. We got Nick and Sam's, and we also got mine's. So
Oh
when
my
that
god.
whole were you on that train, right? Because we saw
No.
some of your videos. Were you on that train, and why not?
No. 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 How can we know the character? His name is unique. He first let's take it back a little bit. Unique was supposed to be dead. Joey Badass came back and appealed to the writers and said, "No, I want to stay." So then they wrote him back into the show. How the hell is that going to be Breeze?
I'm not
No, it's
buying
not
that they
Breeze.
rewrote that whole I'm not buying they rewrote the entire season because Unique was in every single episode. There's no way they rewrote that whole season again.
I question the legit. I gotta be honest. I question the
That's
I
not
legitimacy
mean,
legit.
I'm only
of that
going
move.
by what he said.
I
That's what he
do.
said. He
I
he
am
said
not buying that.
they rewrote it.
Yeah, no. They may have rewrote some things, but they had to be on like the episode 1 because there's no way they rewrote an entire show just to bring Unique back, and then he's in every single episode in multiple scenes. Unique was a main in every episode. It's centered around him, really.
It really was.
I'm
A lot
only
of it was.
telling you what he said to me. He said
We
that
got
they
more
rewrote it.
scenes with Unique than we did from Kanan.
Well, this show isn't really about Kanan.
Power
Thank God.
Power
Well,
Book
Ghost
3
wasn't really
Raising
about
Kanan is
Tariq.
not about Kanan.
No, it's not just
It
about him.
shouldn't
It's
be.
about the family.
Well, Ghost wasn't about Tariq, so they don't shock me none in this universe.
Oh
Oh,
my
but let
God.
Force.
Stop this
Oh, but
now.
let Force do that. Oh, hell no. That show was centered around Tommy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But
ain't nobody else that relevant enough to get the screen time.
There's a lot to be said about that,
Like,
and you know, Anyways, that's not the topic of tonight's discussion. But snaps and pops, are they geniuses? Are they the genius OGs, or are they too convenient? Could we have had better, you know, final bosses, give or take, or major bosses or major antagonists than them? Genius OGs or too convenient?
Kimi, did
Genius.
Erica not say that she's gonna be like very built up in season 5?
Mm.
So
If you can even say anything about that.
what I gather from what I gather from what she's saying is that she views her character as very formidable, and that the the chinks in the armor that Rock has, she doesn't have that because she has protection all around her, and the people around her aren't making the mistakes that the people around Rock are making. So she says that one brother is a drunk, the other one is irresponsible and doing things behind her back. Her son is going against her. So Rock doesn't really have a stand-up team behind her that is dependable. So she says that if she were put in a showdown between Rock and Pops, she Pops would win.
Mm.
Hmm.
She has, yeah, you're right. She has all the protection in the show.
Yeah, and she has her husband, and they don't really have to get their hands dirty. I think that's probably the strongest part of their characters is that they don't get their hands dirty. So that's probably the only reason why I wouldn't say it's convenient, because they're kind of like old owls, right? They sit on their perch and they just watch everyone else do everything. I was actually surprised that Pops actually took down Crystal herself, but
Same.
it makes
I wasn't.
sense because everyone else wasn't getting the information that she needed. So she had to go in and do it herself. But that part where they put in that little tidbit where they say they saw a woman leaving, I was like,
Yeah.
damn it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was the last thing they
Mm-hmm.
needed for Kanan to hear. Because but Juke is the only one in this whole show with sense. The whole thing. She was like, I don't really believe them. But Kanan is steadfast that he believes these people, even though he says to them, "Oh, you think you can control me because I'm young?" So if you know that, why can't you think outside the box a little bit that they're trying to, excuse me, set you up against your mother?
Because I told you, like I said earlier, snapping pops, no, they don't think that, like Kanan don't think that there's a connection where he knows Crystal, and they don't think that she knows uh Famous. So he's like, well, why would they have anything against Famous? They don't know him. But he knows that Rock knows both of them. And Rock admitted that she was there.
There where did she admit that she was?
Rock admitted in the diner that Crystal was at her house before she disappeared.
Yeah, but that was her point, saying, why would I kill her if I'm telling you that the girl came to visit me? Why would I even tell you that? Why would I tell you that she came
But
to see me, what we talked about? And then the thing with Famous, she's like, when they was in the shelter, he came to live with me. Why would I do that to him? You know, sometimes when people try to make something fit so bad that they relieve themselves of all logic,
Yep.
that's what Kanan does. He does it all the
Yep.
time. He is always trying to fit the square in the circle. Those games that you played as a baby where you had to like match up the shapes. He is always trying to fit the square in, regardless of what shape it is. It could be a star, triangle, heart. It doesn't matter. If he wants it to be something, he's going to make it fit. That's the same thing we saw in the first season. That's what happened with Buck 20. No one told Kanan to go out there and go fight for
That's
his
true.
mother's blocks. You wasn't even in here. This had nothing to do with you.
He went to play
You know why
gangster.
he killed. You know why he killed Buck 20. Come on now.
Exactly. Which
He wanted to clap
proves
Davina
my
cheeks.
point. He just wanted it to fit. He wanted it to fit.
Well, he succeeded in his goal. He got the cheeks.
Oh my
So
god. Oh my god.
did he not? Did he not
Uh,
succeed in that goal?
Yeah.
Palomar was the big dub though.
Shout out to Palomar, man.
You guys just said shout out to Palomar. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
She groomed him, man. You know, that's even though for the most part sometimes it's like young men's sort of what do you call it, desire and all that kind of stuff. She groomed him, man. I was a
Mhm.
little, I don't
Kanan is a
know.
victim. He's a victim.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, she could have. I would have been a victim too. Shoot.
Whoa, whoa.
So, anyways, so she's clearly on the side of it, you know, snaps and pops, those guys being too convenient. You guys say what? Geniuses, or they're just plot devices. They're
Genius.
just kind of thrown in there.
Snap and pop our power. They are power, literally.
Nah, I think it's a little bit of both, bro. I think it's just very convenient that Kanan has this terrible relationship with his mother, and they're just exploiting that. That's all it really is. That's all it is.
Mm.
If
It's
Kanan
a
and Rock had
genius
a
play.
solid relationship, there's no way they'd be able to manipulate him like this. Period. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
If Kanan didn't see Rock give the cops money, then none of this would be going down. But because he saw that, and then Pops, Snap and Pops said, the streets are saying basically, yeah, like they're saying that your mother paid them off to kill famous. He already seen her give the money, so it's not like they made that up.
Oh, Sam,
Even
Sam,
though
let's be
they
real.
did
He
make
would
it
have
up,
found another reason. He would have found another reason to blame his mom, bro. That's what he does. He would have found another reason.
right? But people can't say he didn't have proof. He literally watched her pay cops.
Yeah, but that don't mean nothing. That's not proof.
And that leans into my
Well,
two
That's
well,
not
questions
we
proof.
know
too,
that.
man.
We know that, but I'm saying in general.
Like, you know, what
Like
are the
people try to use this
odds
excuse of,
of
oh,
him
he's
just kind of
young, but
driving by at that exact same time and seeing her just openly, you know, paying these cops off,
In the
man?
public, like what?
Like in broad daylight, not even
come
at
on now,
nighttime or to the side,
broad day.
you know, just big water. Hey, here's your
There
slice,
you
you know.
go.
Now I wish Kanan would have mentioned that though in that last scene. He should have mentioned that like I watched you put money in the cop's hand and the street saying, well, you know what I mean? Like it would have been like, oh shit, like he didn't see me pay the cops, like so, but he didn't say that, so
It
Okay.
wouldn't have mattered. He wouldn't have listened to anything she had to say anyway. An angry child is an angry child. They only gonna believe what they gonna believe. My problem is people try to use his age to kind of like validate what he's doing. And I'm like, it's still that's not an excuse. He's just flat out dumb. Like you can't go attack your mom without real concrete evidence of like you believe it's not pop. You just met them like a couple months ago. Like you know what I mean? That's crazy to me. Oh, your mom? I mean, I know she's done some crazy stuff, but she's still your mom. And your
yeah, that
cousin's
gets
telling
some
you, your
crazy
uncle's
stuff.
telling you. Yeah, it's very sad. Sad to see.
So two questions, and then we can wrap this up. All right. And then we touched on this a little bit before. What do you think is going to be Lou's ultimate direction for the show? I need clarity on that now myself. You know, what's going to be his ultimate. I mean, obviously we're all trying to put our best pieces of information together. But what do you think is Lou's ultimate
Lou
direction?
has to run the organization because
Mm,
if Rock is actually gone, you know what I mean. Rock may not be gone, but if she's actually gone, Lou now has to take over
Oof.
because I can't see Marvin. He's not in the headspace to take over,
I
or
think you should leave New
maybe it's a
York.
fight between the brothers next season.
Mm. I
yeah.
think you should leave. Get out of New York.
But
Get out of New York.
what would make him leave? That's the thing. What at this stage would make him? Because he's had opportunities now to do this, kind of get away from the life, and he's just like, look, this is in me. It's like I like doing that stuff to scrap. I like doing that stuff to D-Wiz. I like it too much. This is who I am. What would make him leave New York?
Jessica getting pregnant.
See, my thing is, I don't think it's really who he is though. I don't think it's really who he is. I think he's just masquerading as that. And I feel like he's the only one in the family that has something outside of the game to look forward
It it
to. He has
when I think about it, it felt
out
like
of
a
there.
rewrite, man. It really did feel like a rewrite. What we did with. If there's anything that's ever been so sharp turn in the show for me, it was Lou. From the he was stabilizing himself, and then just to like kind of beeline and do that. I don't know.
He needed that though. I'm sorry, he needed a redemption story because I could not take another season of Lou just being down and out.
Yeah,
Just same with Jannard, in Force, like he was strung out, and then it's like he just snapped out of it, and then he was able to get back right. He was able to get back right.
that is true.
So I don't know,
Maybe he
but it
survived.
was a great comeback story for him.
Yeah, yeah. Last question of the night. This can go to everybody. With season 5, of course, being the final season, what is your most controversial prediction? Not just any prediction, your most controversial prediction.
Mm,
Hmm.
I don't think it's controversial. Marvin has to
I
die,
think
bro.
Kanan. So, ooh,
That's too
yeah,
easy, Sam. That's not controversial. That's
yeah.
too easy, man.
It is for the
Too
fans because
easy.
the
Too
fans
easy.
will lose it if Marvin dies. I don't think that's easy because you got to give Marvin damn near the best farewell ever.
Yeah.
Hmm. What about you, Nick?
I think Rock guys. I feel like this season will be a redemption story for her, and you know she'll kind of try to make one last push to fix things with Kanan. But she gotta go, bro. If Ghost went, no way y'all telling me Rock gets to live. If Ghost died, Rock dies. Period. Period.
I think
You want to
I
talk
think the
about
best
some of
way
the
to
worst people? Is Rock. She was a horrible parent compared to Ghost. Oh, terrible. She gotta go. Period.
I think the best way they can end the season, not end the season. The best way they could start next season is by obviously, that fan theory where they were saying he was shooting at somebody else. Okay, whatever the case may be. But I would like to see that like some type of home invasion, or they try to like go into war right there in Rock's crib, and then Rock gets hit while Kanan is trying to save her after he just said he wasn't going to save her.
Mm.
I'd like to see her die early if she does die,
Early?
like the first 2 episodes.
Wow.
But it's not how we think. Like obviously, how the season ended, that's how it ended, or whatever. Maybe he just shot one in the air or whatever, and then maybe the unique team is actually coming. And then in the process of him trying to save Rock, he can't.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you think, Emi?
I think I think the gun went off and somebody came in and saved the day and pulled him away and he just missed.
Mm.
Or at least I'm hoping that that's what happened.
Man, his aim
Did you
must be
guys
terrible.
say that again? Because there was something that I wanted to bring up to you guys. Um, did you guys see? So in my interview with Sasha, I referenced the Deadline article where they explicitly say that she exited the series. Did you guys notice that they changed the title of the article?
Hmm. Yep.
Change the title for
Yep.
what?
They think we're stupid.
What did they change it to?
So they said possible. They put the word possible in the title now. Possible exit.
Come
I see Mark
on,
Barker
that
getting heated about
yeah,
that.
that's so
Mark
lame.
Mark Barker,
Possible exit.
so
I'm looking at it
lame,
now too.
so
Come
lame.
on.
Oh my gosh.
You just spoiled the whole season 5, bro. Why y'all have to do that? Why they have
Now
to?
they
They
got
shouldn't
me
have put
all
out an
over.
article. Period. Yeah.
I mean, we don't know, but in the article, the inside the article, everything stayed the same. In terms of the quotes that she got, everything stayed the same. It's just that the title changed.
How one
I
word can
mean,
really change the whole weight of what you believe regarding something.
yeah.
I think
I mean, it
once I
was
kept
already fishy
referencing
anyway.
it, mm,
Hmm. Now that makes that causes me to
Hey,
think
what
like,
Unique say? Until that body show up, she ain't dead. She
And if he ain't dead, he's
ain't
still
dead.
talking. And if
he's
Still
Rocket's
still
talking.
talking,
talking.
he lying.
Yep.
what I love about
That was
shows
that
like
was one of the best scenes from this show.
what I
And
love
if
about
Rocket's
shows like
talking,
Game of
like Ronnie said,
Thrones.
and if Rocket's talking, she lying.
Sh- think
Yep.
about this, right? Shows like Game of Thrones. You know,
Oh,
the beauty of
when
those
they killed Ned, yeah.
when they kill like even if you weren't somebody who read the books or whatever like that, the weight that carried that set a tone and a precedent for the rest of the show that lets you know, hey, yeah, man, we gonna do some things up in here that y'all ain't gonna see coming, right?
Mm.
And that's it right there. So for me, even them just changing that word in that, like, I'm just like, bro, really? Who sent the memo to do that, bro? Like when you just let it hang for a second, let it hang. Actors eggs and everybody, oh man, she's gone. And then if you want to pull a switcheroo come 2026, fine. But now we know that the whole aspect of these things being permanent, they become less and less believable. You know, if you start to just like do it in that way, because one of the things that, so for instance, one of the things that Sasha Penn referenced in the interview was he referenced the whole "Who Shot JR" thing back from Dallas. Love Dallas. That was a whole cultural phenomenon, right? You let this moment exist, right, in its own thing in the Power universe, and you don't try to change the narrative around it. You don't try to sprinkle things here and there. Just let it be. Let people be like, oh man, deadline article and exit interviews and all that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, bro, she's gone. And then you come back around and be like, oh, maybe not. And that has more impact. It brings and it draws more viewers, for the season premiere and all that kind of stuff. But why they had to do that, man? Like, I don't like
I
that.
think that
Cause
we
they
as
stay from
viewers and as fans, we should accept just on face value, we should accept that she's gone. Just for now. I think that we should accept that she's not here anymore. And I think that everyone who is associated with the show, they should just accept that she just move as if she's not here. Because Patina needs to be recognized for the work that she does here. And I think we need to continue to, I guess, champion her in that way. Nick,
I
what you
can't do
trying to
that.
say? Hold on.
I
There's
can't
an
do that.
ambulance passing. 1 second. All right. What
I
you say
can't let
now?
her go. I cannot let her go. It's too soon. It's too
Yeah,
soon.
I don't want her to go. She obviously she's my favorite from the show. I don't want her to go, but I also kind of think they playing in her face a little bit.
Really?
But that's I don't know if we want to go down that road tonight, but I do
Yes, we
think that they
do.
play with
We can we
Patina.
can
Wait,
take
wait,
the
Yes,
playing in her
we
floor.
face?
Take
do.
the floor.
Yes, we do.
Let's
Yes,
go.
we
Playing in her
do.
face?
I think that I don't know if it's so I don't know the ins and outs of the industry. I only read, I only talk to people, I only try to figure things out on my own. I do as much research as I can, but the fact that Patina hasn't been nominated, and not just Patina, right? Like I'm using her as an example, but even if I didn't like this show, right? And I watched what she does on this show, no way she's not nominated for everything.
Yeah.
No way. Like it is
Facts.
for me to say that it's racist would be okay. We know that already, right? We know that this industry is led by white males, and it is, and if you're not white adjacent, it's not, if you're not light skinned, if you don't present as white, if you don't look the way how they want you to look, you're probably not going to get a lot of accolades, right? Or even acknowledgement. But it is criminal what they are doing with this show. If you're telling me that Power Book 2 isn't nominated, okay, I get it, right? It's
But they
soap
are.
opera,
But they
right?
are.
I
Facts.
get it.
The show
And they
can,
win every
Entry
year.
double A.
yeah, but the
But
show
that's
can
the
get
NCAA.
that.
Come on, stop it.
NAACP, and
Stop it.
I'm
Stop it.
not downplaying the NAACP, but even them, why hasn't
Rock ain't
Patina been
even get that.
nominated? Yeah, like what's going on?
She,
What
she
does
should have
she
been
have to
nominated every
do?
year.
Yeah.
That's not true. Amari won mad NAACP awards, but Rock hasn't even been nominated for one.
Oh.
And that's why I'm asking,
But I'm
what
saying,
does
even
she
but
have to
even
Mm.
do?
that, like these
Mm.
are your people. BET awards, like these are your people that are watching this show. Why are they not even nominated for that?
That's
The
a
It's
great
BET
question.
I
awards?
just think
this
people
is
are
true.
playing. They are playing in her face, and I'm honestly disgusted by it. I'm disgusted. Like if I were her, like I would want to finish out my character, but I would leave too. Let me go find something else to do
Mm.
Yeah, the last
because
awards that she got was she was
The
nominated. She
Tony.
also won for Into the Woods,
right.
and before that, it was like the Hunger Games back in 2015. You know, that's crazy,
Ooh,
bro. That's a good point.
10 years?
And she
Wow.
is like, Patina is putting in work on this show, like work, and that's interesting
There
that
was
you bring that up.
one season where she was filming the season and still doing
On
Broadway.
Broadway. I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, that's nuts.
I think that was season
That's
2.
nuts.
Insane.
Nuts.
So she, literally can be, or probably is, one of the hardest working people on the show, but it's not getting that credibility, for it. That's
And
Well, she's
she's
just
crazy.
not getting.
Bro,
talented. Like
the show, bro, the industry, filming Broadway and filming a TV show daily, that's insane.
Yeah,
insane.
That's nuts.
that is brutal.
Well, I mean, listen, they
You
just
know, you
don't
know what it is,
reward.
man. You know what it
They
is.
just
You know what
they
it
just
is.
don't reward black drug dealer shows because let's be honest, The
Right.
Wire didn't win anything
Mm.
the
That
whole
that's a
time
No
it
good
was
fault.
shooting.
question.
Yep.
That's a good question.
The
Has
fact that
Power ever
Power
won
was winning
anything outside of
NAACP
the?
awards is just like okay, like like with Ghost, but and then the regular Power, but for no one to be nominated for that is just like criminal. I get it, I agree with that, but
Has
like y'all say, oh,
Power
well, you're
ever
not
won
winning
any
NAACP, but
awards
damn.
besides the NAACPs in
Well,
Nope.
Power?
nobody's got nominated for an Emmy period in Power history in the whole
Nope.
universe. No one.
Nuts.
What was the thing that Michael Rennie Jr. got? He won.
NAACP award.
Oh, okay.
NAACP. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but to me, that word is just like a gimme. Like here, here,
I'll be
Literally.
take
real.
something.
Like,
Take something.
I don't want to diss, but what's he winning an award for? Like, you know what I mean?
I think it was overdue. I think they should have gave him that instead of giving it to freaking Method Man every
Nick.
single year.
Nick,
What is
please.
Method Man getting it for every single year?
Oh my god, bro. Bro, I've been waiting for somebody to say that, bro. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but
I see
that
season
was
2. Okay, I can get season 2, but it's like, all right, Michael Rainey could have definitely won for season
nah.
1, But season 3, like you gave him that award for season 4.
Yeah.
They gave him that because of the clout and the publicity that season 4 had. That's really what it is. They got a lot of coverage. That's what it was.
Right,
That's what
but
it
I would
was.
say he deserved it over. I just don't understand why Method Man gets it every year. I don't get it. He barely was in last season. Barely.
For real.
That's true.
For real.
It's
A,
like
a, a
what?
lot.
Again, that's how you know that they don't watch these shows, bro. Like I feel like people they
They
don't watch
don't.
these shows for real. There's no way they
They
do
don't.
because
Clearly, because if
there's
that's the
no
case,
way.
Woody should have technically won every season, every single
Yeah,
season.
Woody should have won something. Woody should have won something.
Let me tell you, he has been
Woody should have
carrying
won
that
something.
show on his acting back
Yep.
for years.
Yep.
For
Literally
years.
every season.
If you ask me, I wish they, we could kind of
He should have been the one getting 400.
mind wipe some of the people and then just like skip a couple years and come back with another Tariq show and it's Woody playing Tariq, instead. That would be more believable. But yeah.
But Michael did win for best lead, so that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because he is the lead for the show, whatever. Even though it don't always seem like it, but he was the lead, so I get him get in there.
But
Was
best
he?
lead, like best lead. What
Well,
did he
they
lead?
can't give him supporting character because technically he is the number 1 for the show.
Okay.
Even though
yeah.
he wasn't the number 1, but it's whatever.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to get into the whole because there's still people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. We can just give our opinions on how we feel about them, I suppose, and their acting and whatnot. But yeah, it's always a fine line with it. For me.
I'm happy that Michael won. I'm
Same,
happy
and like I said, I'd rather him get it than. But even with that being said, like I said, Method Man still got it for supporting. It's like what?
Yeah, you got it.
I don't know why.
Over
I
Woody?
don't know
What
why.
what the hell did Method Man do?
That's they not watching, bro. They not watching.
Because he took
Oh,
off
my
his shirt.
God.
That's why. It's the wife beaters. That's all it's
Yeah.
for. That's why. That's why.
Oh,
He got
Yeah,
those
the,
lines.
Like no.
the muscles, the muscles.
Yeah.
Woody should have got the best supported every single year.
Yep.
Well, listen, we are heading on to 2 hours of this. I don't want to hold up everybody for ever and ever. Amen. I think that we've had a great panel discussion with everybody tonight. Audience is engaged. We had over 100 people still strong on the live stream. We're going to start wrapping up here in a quick second. I think earlier on you guys started to give your final ratings on what you think of the season for Raising Kanan. And so on the scale of 1 to 10, so everyone hears it again, you can't use 7. What's your final rating for season 4 of Raising Kanan?
Oh, the whole season? I'll give it an 8.7.
8.7.
0.7.
Kimi?
Go. No, Nick, you go.
6.9.
6.
What?
The whole season?
If I can't do 7, then I'm doing the 6.9. Yeah, the whole season. But that first episode, what was that? What was that? We need a whole episode
Which
for
one?
Unique.
The first episode of this
The
season.
first one.
I love the first episode. The throwback episode.
Man.
One back.
Come on. Stop it, Sam. Stop it.
We did get cheated out of an episode, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Cheated.
Yes.
6.9, 8.7.
So y'all know Raising Kanan is my favorite show.
Oh, answer the question.
In terms, so there were things that I didn't like, but it wasn't so much that it made me hate the entirety of the season. I don't like how long we took on Unique's backstory. I don't like that that they dragged the famous thing out for so long, because to me it ended up being anticlimactic. So for that, I'll give it a 9.
So okay, that's kind of close to me. My whole thing would be I'd give it probably an 8.9 out of 10 as well. But even though I don't get where the decimals come in with the numbers, so I'll just say it's
Exactly.
it's a 9 out of 10.
I think it's a little higher than an 8. You know what I mean? But to me, it wasn't a 9. But I like this season more than I like last season personally. I hated last season to it. I think
I
Ronnie
loved
Curie.
last season. I thought that
I,
was
I
He's
10 out of
tripping.
10.
He's
10s
It
across the
tripping.
was.
board.
absolutely not.
Huh?
If you
He's
take Ronnie
tripping.
out, that
He's
season is
tripping.
a 4.
You can't do that. You can't say take Ronnie out.
If
You
you
can't
take
do
That was the
that.
Ronnie out,
whole
that season
point.
is a 4. If you take out Unique from this season, it's still a pretty decent season.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Stop it. Stop it. You
I
take
think it's
Unique
horrible.
out, that shit drops.
But we're not gonna say it's
It
Unique
drops.
didn't carry. Unique didn't carry.
Oh my god.
You think
Oh
y'all
my.
think Unique
This
carry this
dude,
season?
this dude is delusional.
Unique carry this season?
Bro, if there's no Unique, who's the villain? Who's the villain?
Snap and pop. What do you
Nobody.
mean?
There's no villain. Stop
Snap
I
it.
and
will
pop
say
are
Stop
the
it.
this
villains.
again. We barely even
Stop
saw
it.
their feet. We didn't even know that they could walk up until
Yeah.
what?
He thought they were
Episode
in
8?
Literally.
wheelchairs
So they
after
walk.
that
They
Literally.
still
episode.
walk. They still
Literally.
walk.
So they are not the
Literally.
villain.
Come on
Again,
now.
they just sit
Come
on the
on now.
perch and then carry out things from there. They're not the, they're the villains, yes, and they are the antagonists, but not like Unique was.
Bro, I hated season 3. Oh my god, it was just so dragged on.
Season 3 was
Again,
fire. I don't know what you're talking about.
Season
Season
3
three
was
was
fire. You're
lit.
bugging.
bro, yeah, because Ronnie carried.
He's
Because
bugging.
Ronnie carried.
Oh my god. He's
If you
bugging.
take
He's
Ronnie
bugging.
out, it's like okay, Marvin did nothing last season. Nothing. Lou was having like a
Marvin
whole
Marvin
depressed
killed
fest.
Gerald last season.
No, he did not. Not on camera. He never admitted to that.
What?
He never
But
admitted to
we
doing nothing to Gerald.
so what? He still did it.
They showed him killing everybody, but then they don't show him killing Gerald.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's well. I landed a 9. If I was writing the show, and it was crazy watching the final episode. I remember kind of early on thinking into it. I was like, boy, I would end this on a cliffhanger. Crazy enough, and that's what happened. Like I was thinking this, it would be good to do that, and then when I saw the time running out in the bar, I was like, oh, y'all serious with this? Ah. So I agree. I think it was a very, very solid season. Raising Kanan is my
so
favorite
too.
out of all the Power spin-offs. I think Raising Kanan can go toe to toe. Don't shoot me with the OG Power. I've seen
Hell
enough.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I've seen enough.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Y'all killing me when y'all say that.
Absolutely. There
No.
are even times when I say that it's better than the first Power.
Oh my gosh,
Mm.
stop it.
I agree. I think that this show is written so good. Like, and the acting that they have,
Yeah.
the people who are there, I think the show is top notch. They have good actors, they have good story, it's good development. Like look at what they're doing with Jukebox's character. This shit
Beautiful.
is like science the way how they're breaking it down for a Jukebox. And we're gonna see how her and Kanan start to split. And we see how close they are already, where he's like, I trust you with everything. And now we're gonna see how they break apart.
That's the
Nah, I
beauty.
just
They
feel like
they
OG
have this
Power.
down to this is so meticulous that I don't even see how people can talk bad about the show, especially if you know the background or even what happens to these people after.
It's good, but I'm sorry. I cannot. The way they built Ghost character, the way they built Tasha, the way they built Tariq, the way they built Dre out of nothing. I'm sorry. I just think that the writing was just on another level with OG Power.
You got to look at it like this though, Sam. The authenticness of or the authenticity of Raising
Yeah.
Kanan is and how it's stylized. It's for me. That's what caused me to really kind of say that. It's like you can't compare, man. And that's why I say compared to a lot of other shows, even currently on the air, I would say Raising Kanan is probably one of the best shows on TV right now. And that's me almost stepping back as a Power fan and saying that objectively. It's just chronologically it's beautiful. The symmetry, the consistency in the canon, the consistency in the storylines. I mentioned
And
before
it's a
in my
period
videos.
piece.
and it's a period piece. It also appears that if you listen to Sasha, it appears that they have a series Bible, and so it was planned from season 1 to season 5, and a lot of people don't have that. So that's why I say, and a lot of people don't realize the original Power did not necessarily have a series Bible because of the fact that they were saying, oh, we can probably kind of go to maybe season 5. We'll see what happens here. They were a dark horse show, is what Amari said. And so when they first came in, didn't know if they'd get a second season, so they got it. So of course now they continue it on. They said Omari's character was supposed to actually die in season 5 around the time, season 4.
Yeah,
Season
four is-
4.
Think about that. So now you had to almost piece together a way to keep that going after the fact. You know, and then at that time, Stars wasn't necessarily known for having shows that went past season 4, right? Spartacus managed to keep it going for a while, but it was still around that same amount of time in seasons. But yeah, Raising that can compete. They'd compete.
I don't know. I miss Ghosts personally. You know, I know people hate the writing and even with the bad
Book
writing,
2
that show is
Ghost or
just
Ghost the
fire.
character?
Huh?
Which one you hate? You hate Ghost the character? I mean, you miss Ghost the character or Ghost the show?
Give me
Well, of course I miss
anybody
Ghost
missing
the
book
character.
2
I'm talking about
Ghosts.
the show. Even with the writing being so bad, I still miss it. It's
Oh my
like I
God.
don't know. It's just a different level of excitement. Like when Ghost is on, it's just the internet is buzzing. Like everybody wants to talk about it. Like it's just like excitement through the roof, even with the bad writing.
Okay, what book 2 taps into? They tap into
Younger.
a younger audience, right? So that's why the internet is on fire. This show is more like I would say the demographic is a little bit more adult than it is with Ghost. So that's why you're gonna get different responses to the show. Because even like when Gas puts out the Twitter reactions, you can tell how different, even just with the Twitter reactions that we put out for Raising Kanan, are way different than what we put out for Book 2 Ghost, because of the type of people that are responding to it and the things that they connect with.
Correct.
One of the reasons why a lot of people like that show is because it's not big on story. It's not big on character development. It's a whole bunch of flashy, boom, boom, get this done, and a whole bunch of plot holes.
Yeah, I agree. It did fall off the cliff. I don't know. I'm just looking at it. I feel like every show has its own thing though. That's how it's supposed to be. This is what Stars wants. They don't want us to get 3 shows that are all the same. Because if every show was written great, it would just be like, okay, there would be nothing to complain about. And people still find a way to complain about Raising Kanan.
No,
Even though the
that's
writing is
true.
damn near perfect.
I agree with that. People are going to complain regardless, but with Book 2 Ghosts, I don't think that the excuse should be that it's not going to have good writing. I think that they should pride themselves on the writing wherever it is. And I don't think that we should dumb down characters or a story or a show just because of the demographic that you are trying to target. If anything, I think that that's kind of insulting to the viewers. But we also have to take into account that some people don't want to think. They don't want to think about what was happening in 1992, why Dr. Kevorkian is referenced here without saying his name out loud. We don't talk about what Reagan did prior to 1992 and why the drug business is what it is in New York. We don't talk about how we look at drug addicts back then to how we look at it now. And Raising Kanan is probably one of the only shows that I've seen in recent history where they actually show addicts and what they're going through. Normally, we only hear about the addicts, and with the exception of The Wire. I think The Wire showed some, but The Wire is a great show. But other shows, even in the original Power, we only saw Ghost in the penthouse, not how it affected the people that he was serving.
This is true.
Well, listen, man. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you.
Well, listen, thank you for having me on.
He don't got nothing else. That's it for him.
I don't got nothing else. This was great. You know what I mean? I had fun. I love talking about power. Obviously, this been turned into a whole job.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I appreciate all of you tonight for hopping on. We got 110 people still strong on the live stream. Smash the like button before we head out of here. Listen, if you guys rock with me here, I want you, if you don't already, to also rock with Sam. Follow him on @PowerIsFire on almost everything, all social platforms. And I want you to rock with Kimi at Private Listed and the Chronicles of Power podcast. Find her at PVTLSTD. Everyone's links in their channels are in the descriptions, guys. And like I said, if you are a Power fan, as I assume all 110 of you are, you guys want to be following these guys if you're not already. Sam, Kimi, and then Nick, whose connection dropped again. I want to thank you guys so much for hopping on to the super panel. This was a very, very fun time engaging with all the Power fans. And hopefully we get to do this again in the future at some point. But thank you guys so much, man.
Thank you for having me. This was a great discussion. I'll tell you guys later what was happening with me. But have a good night.
All right, everyone. Till next time, guys. Peace.
Peace.